Hi Mountaineers, it's Mrs. Skillern. This morning I'm going to be going over very quickly about your student responsibilities and expectations at Deer Creek. I'm going to start with the behavior standards and expectations. So there are two documents that are important for you to go over with your families. One of them is the 2021 Family Handbook, and the other one is the Deer Creek Middle School Student Handbook. Both of them can be found on the Deer Creek website, although the links are also provided below. When your family registers you through Jeffco Connect each year, they do have to sign off on agreements that you have read these and you do understand them. So the 6 behavior expectations that we have at Deer Creek, I think are pretty simple. The ones that you'll find in the Family Handbook, there's a lot more of them, but they all fall within these 6 categories. So let's take a look at what they are. So number 1, being in class and ready to participate when the bell rings. That means that you are actually in class when the bell rings for first period to start. That doesn't mean that you're showing up at that time. We need you to be here. It's disruptive to the class. It's disruptive to your learning and others. And the first period starts at 8:15. You should be here before then. You need to come to school every day with appropriate materials. Of course, you're going to need your Chromebook, and it needs to be charged and ready to go. You cannot charge your Chromebook in the library this year. You cannot share a Chromebook, and we do not have loaners. So we do recommend that if you have an extra charger, you bring it with you. We expect everyone to act in a manner that assures safety and security. Now, some of those things are obvious. We don't want you to hurt other people. We don't want you to do something that's going to hurt yourself. But we also need you to follow the health protocols, and we're going to be going over that a little bit later. You need to use language that is appropriate to the learning environment. So foul, obscene, vulgar language, it's just not appropriate here, and we don't want to hear it. Neither do your peers. We expect you to respect other individuals and their space, and the property of others and the school. It should be kind of easy this year because you need to stay 6 feet apart. And you can't touch anything else of others. So let's still remember that respecting others means being kind and respectful and mindful of what you say and what you do. And finally, students should honor each other's right to learn. And that means that you're not being disruptive or doing things that are going to take the attention away from other students in the class and prevent them from learning or benefiting from the classroom environment. That also means that you're not doing something that's disrupting the teacher's ability to teach. All of these things are in the student responsibilities in the Family Handbook. Please make sure that you read these. The statement that's printed here is very important, and it pretty much sums up all the rights and responsibilities that you have and what we're going to do for you as staff at school. So please make sure that you take time and read over it with your family. And let's make this school year a good one. Okay, so big focus this year is healthy and happy. We want everyone to stay healthy. We want everyone to be happy because we know that you're all happy to be in school. If you haven't already, you're going to see signs like this all over the building. We're asking you to sanitize your hands when you enter a classroom and when you leave. When you come in the morning, you're going to be asked symptom screening questions, and you're going to be stopped for symptom screening. We're going to ask you to wash your hands thoroughly before and after lunch and anytime you use the restroom. Of course, you must wear a mask, so please bring an extra as well. And we're going to ask you to maintain a healthy distance with 6 feet whenever possible. That includes when you're walking in the hallway, when you're walking to and from lunch. Now, lunch rules are a little bit different, and we will put those, or we'll go over those a little bit later in the day. When you are walking in the hallway, you're going to see yellow tape up the stairs and down the stairs and through the hallways. We need you to stay on the right side when you're walking, just like you would if you were in a car on the road. And we need you to follow the arrows and the direction. There are going to be procedures for the bathroom posted in the bathrooms, and your teachers will also go over them with you. And please remember that going to the clinic is for emergencies only. So Band-Aids and ice packs, your teachers can certainly reach out to the office and we can help you with that, but that's not necessarily something that you need to come to the clinic for. It is for when you are truly sick. So these 2 components are actually going to be in the 2020 Family Handbook. These are added specifically to this school year. The special notice at the top does talk about the fact that in wanting to come to in-person learning, there are certain things that we had to put in place due to the COVID pandemic. It does state that if you are attending in-person learning, the failure for you to comply with the health and safety procedures and protocols, or the willful defiance to follow directions from school staff, will be considered grounds for student discipline. So it's going to be really important, you guys, for you to read through this. And it's going to be really important for you to follow the expectations that we have in place. Once we're in school for a few days, we're going to be going over information for emergency situations and drills. What you need to know right now is that the expectation is that you are absolutely silent anytime something is going on so that your teachers can hear information and then they can communicate it to you. There are no other options. When you do go to the student handbook at the Deer Creek website, you're going to find that all of the things listed below are different categories that you can read about. As you can see, they all have something to do with school, and they are going to be important for you to read. When you're in school, we will expect that you do know all of these policies. They're available so that you can review them anytime. And saying that, oh, I didn't know that I couldn't have my phone, or I didn't know what the dress code was, doesn't really work, because you are expected to read them and review them before school. Okay, so the dress code at Deer Creek, you'll see the students in the picture have uniforms on. We do not have uniforms, but we do have guidelines that we expect students to follow. So the dress code is something that you can obviously find on the student handbook on the website. It is listed below. I'm not going to go over everything. But when you come back to school on Tuesday, you need to know that shorts, skirts, they need to be fingertip length. Shirts need to have sleeves. They can't have obscene or inappropriate material on them. And that is all listed on this slide and on the website. So technology has become a big part of our lives, both in and out of school. It can be really great. It can have a lot of challenges. So as a result of that, we will be going over a tiny bit of the extensive technology policy in Jeffco. So as you're reading through all the policies and all the information in the handbooks, you're going to see information about the student use of the internet. You are using a device. If you're using the Chromebook that was provided you by the school, which I believe everyone has now, that is still actually owned by Jeffco. You are using it at this time. Whatever you are doing on that device, using the internet, if you're sending something to someone else or you receive it, if you're using social media or doing things on it that you shouldn't be and violates any kind of policy, you can get disciplinary action up to the loss of the device and your use of any kind of internet at the school. Very important to know that there is no expectation of privacy. So the words that are in white come directly from the Jefferson County Board policies. A lot of people think that, well, it's mine and you can't do anything about it. That is not true. If you are using a school device, you are using it at school, it affects the school or other students in any way, we will be involved. So you need to be able to use all of your devices and tools appropriately. So this is one more reminder that Deer Creek is a phone-free zone. Phones should be and must be in your backpack and off. Consequences will occur if you do not follow the expectation. If your phone is out or you're using it or something happens and it goes off, your teacher is allowed to confiscate the phone, and they will call the office and I will come pick it up and we will keep it there till the end of the day. If it becomes an issue, I'm going to be calling home and we're going to be talking about the fact of what the problem is and whether or not you even need to have your phone at school. So let's not make it an issue. You still get to have it. It just needs to be in your backpack because you actually don't need to use it during the day. So you might have all these questions. What if I need to contact my mom or dad or my guardian? You can use the phone if you ask your teacher first, or in an emergency, we really want you to notify your teacher. Yeah, I'm not worried about you keeping your streak going in Snapchat or TikTok or anything like that. That's not what we're doing at school. Phones are not used at lunch. We want you going outside and we want you getting exercise and breathing in oxygen and talking to other people. So they will stay in your backpack. But don't worry, classrooms will be locked, so they will be safe. Also, when we're talking about Chromebooks and devices, you just keep your hands off other people's devices. Okay, you've got your own, and if you forget it, you'll have to use paper and pencil. But you also need to remember that inappropriate usage of the internet or of the technology will result in consequences. So some of the most difficult parts of my job are having to worry about suspensions and expulsions. They're not actually things that we want to happen or we like doing, but sometimes things happen that result in a suspension or an expulsion. There are a lot of different ways that that can happen, and that is in the family handbook. I strongly recommend that you go over all of them and just get an idea of all the different things that can result in pretty significant and very significant disciplinary action. I've highlighted a couple here. You'll see that refusing to comply with health and safety regulations can result in suspension. I've highlighted the inappropriate use of technology and disrupting the learning environment, either in person or online. That means when you're in Zoom meetings or Google Classroom, all things still apply. So the academic honesty policy is in the student handbook. I again strongly recommend that you read through all of it. This is just a little part of it. It outlines what the different consequences are for academic honesty. Academic honesty includes a lot of different things, and it does become a challenge when you are working so much online. It's really easy to copy and paste or to share things, and all of that results in consequences. As I've mentioned many times, it is the responsibility of you and your parent or guardian to read the Jefferson County Code of Conduct, also called the Family Handbook, as well as the DCMS Student Handbook. As I've also mentioned, these can both be found on the Deer Creek website. The things that I've gone over here today is just a very small piece, and it was rather quick. There's a lot of information to read, but you have time, and get on it. Okay, last but not least, I do want to talk briefly about what happens if you have concerns or issues at school or after you go home. So you've probably already heard, hopefully, and probably already heard about Safe to Tell, and that is an app that you can use. You can text, you can call, you can take pictures and send in different things, and you can report something anonymously. I will tell you though, if there is, and that is really for something that is an imminent threat to yourself or the school or another person. If you're concerned about the safety of yourself or others, use Safe to Tell and you will get a response right away. If there's an issue going on at school, I would actually really like to know about it. You can email me or you can ask to speak to me and I will come find you. Because it's a lot easier for me to follow up with you if I know who you are, and we want to be able to problem solve and make you feel happy and comfortable at school. So we do rely on your help to report things that are a problem or that are concerning, and here are a couple of reasons why you can use Safe to Tell versus reporting it in the school. Again, if it's something that's going on, I would love to know about it. I don't go out and blab it to everyone, but I want to be able to help, and so do your teachers, and so does the rest of the staff. So please let us know. But if you are feeling threatened or you know someone who is feeling threatened, please use Safe to Tell as well. Okay, Mountaineers, that was a lot of information, and I understand that, and I'm glad that you're here. I know your teachers are too. Thank you for listening and following through by going back and reading all the information for your families and for yourself under the Family Handbook and the Student Handbook. If you ever have any questions or problems, please let your teachers know or let me know. And if you have any questions about something that's in this presentation or something that you read, please reach out. Have a great day.